Hey there, thanks for tuning in. This episode is all about cleaning your airbrush. A dirty airbrush will be the cause of just about all your problems, like a frozen trigger, airbrush not spraying, and bubbling paint, among other issues. So, we're going to talk about cleaning out your airbrush so that whenever you want to make a design, it's all ready to go. This video will cover the following topics: cleaning receptacles, cleaning between colors, and deep cleaning your airbrush. The first thing you're going to need is a cleaning receptacle. Basically, just something to spray into when you're cleaning your airbrush. You can buy an airbrush cleaning cup, or you can make something really easily with stuff you probably already have laying around. So here I have a jar. I'm going to put in a piece of paper towel at the bottom. Then I'm going to put a piece of plastic wrap on the top, leaving a little opening to spray into the jar. And I'm going to fix the plastic in place with an elastic band here. And then I'm going to make a little vent hole on the opposite side to let the air out, but not so big enough that it lets out all the spray. You can also use something like a plastic container like this. Again, like a little piece of paper towel to help capture the spray. And just like the jar, a big hole to spray into and a small vent hole. You can really use like just about anything. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate cleaning the airbrush between colors. So what I like to do is try to get the rest of the paint out of the airbrush cup, splashing it out with some water. This is just plain water. I really like to use a lot of water at first. The paints I use are water-based paints, so most of the time they will, clean pretty good with just water. Here I'm just trying to splash out the rest of the gray paint. Just spraying again with this plain water. I usually use like as much water as I can. Then I'm going to back blow paint out of the tip. And I'm going to do that by putting my finger on the tip and then just like spraying, and then it kicks anything that's in the tip of the airbrush back into the cup. It's a good way to gauge how your cleaning is coming along, and because when there's still paint flowing back into the cup, you know that the airbrush is not all the way clean yet. So I'll just use some cleaner now, and then I'm going to grab a soft brush to help clear the paint out of the paint cup, and then very, very gently clean the paint from the tip of the needle, because paint does accumulate on the tip of the needle. And you just want to repeat these steps until when you backflow, all the paint is gone, and whatever's liquid in there just kicks back clear. It can seem like it takes forever sometimes, but when you're cleaning your airbrush between colors, that is a good time to decide what your next move is going to be, like what color you're going to use next, what design you're going to put on next. Oh, one very important thing. When depending on your airbrush, your needle might be very, very fine. And so it would damage or bend very easily. So it's best to be extremely gentle when cleaning off the tip of your airbrush, because you don't want to bend or damage your airbrush needle, because even the tiniest little bend or damage to your needle will cause your airbrush to not spray smoothly or not even spray at all. Okay, for this final part of this episode, we are going to disassemble the airbrush and do a deep clean. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove the cap at the tip of the airbrush, which exposes the needle and the fluid nozzle. And now I'm going to remove the back and unscrew the needle chuck. This allows the needle to move. And then let me take off the fluid nozzle here. Okay, and now I'm going to gently push the needle forward. And the most important part about this step is to always push the needle forward. Never pull your needle backwards. The reason is because most likely there will be paint built up on the tip of the needle, and you do not want to drag that paint back into the intricate parts in the back of the airbrush. Okay, so here you can see my needle is stuck a little bit. So I'm just going to grab some cleaner, some alcohol or some acetone, and I'm going to squeeze a couple drops here, and then that should loosen everything up. Here we go. Okay, so to clean the needle, all you need to do is use some cleaner, alcohol or acetone on a piece of cotton and gently just remove all the dried up paint. Now this model of airbrush has a removable fluid nozzle, and I'm going to clean the inside of the fluid nozzle. So, and to clean the inside of the fluid nozzle, I'm going to wrap a little piece of cotton on the end of this needle here. Dip it in some acetone, and I'm going to very gently clean out the inside of the fluid nozzle. But I'm being very, very careful because I don't want to bend my needle or split the tip of the fluid nozzle, which is very easy to do. Okay, so now I'm going to gently put the needle back into the airbrush a little bit. And I'm going to put back on the fluid nozzle in the cap. And then I'm going to push the needle forward until it stops. But we don't want to push too hard or force anything. Just tilt like it stops in the tip. Screw this needle chuck back on and then put my back cap back on too. Now I'm just going to give this airbrush a test spray to make sure everything's all good. And sometimes it'll bubble up on you at first, and I just loosen the chuck again, move that needle back and forth a couple times. Sometimes there may be a tiny bit of debris in there from the cleaning, and even that little bit will make the airbrush bubble up. Sometimes you might just have to repeat your cleaning steps again. Here I have some new parts. If I just wanted to skip this cleaning of the needle and the fluid nozzle, I could just replace these two parts. And it's actually really good to have a spare needle and fluid nozzle on hand at all times in case your needle gets bent or your fluid nozzle gets damaged. And then I like to hang on to those old needles to use for cleaning. In this instance, I wouldn't always just use the needle I'm putting back in the airbrush. I would just use one of my old needles to clean out the inside of the fluid nozzle. That way I don't have to worry about damaging, my needle that I'm using now. I do want to mention also that they do sell airbrush needle oil. I don't use it, but it can help with keeping paint from sticking to the needle and the inside parts of your airbrush, especially if you use a lot of harsh chemicals like acetone to clean your airbrush out. That oil can help restore the metal inside your airbrush. So, okay, that's it for this episode on cleaning and maintaining your airbrush. If you have any questions, just drop me a line in the comments. And again, thanks for tuning in. Bye.